How do you know your strategic direction is the right one? How do you know that focusing on student wellbeing is the right path for you? You can go off your hunches, but I think the use of this tool informs your decision making, because otherwise you can just become very busy, putting a whole lot of quick fixes in along the way.
And initially we didn't know if the Wellbeing at School tool was the right thing to help us find out what our students were experiencing. But as we looked at it, we felt that it would be a good starting point, and it did work out for us in the end, so it was the right tool to use.
The Wellbeing at School surveys can really act as a catalyst for schools to get a good understanding of what's happening with their young people. Many schools will assume that things are okay with their young people, and sometimes it's not until they actually sit down and ask their students how they're feeling about being at school that they discover that there is some work to be done.
The design of the tool was really useful in challenging our assumptions, because what you think is going well in your school, and then you test, you ask your students what they think is going well, and you can't monitor what they're putting into the answers. So you get the information, you get real information about what they think is happening and what their perception is about Fernley School.
Doing the three surveys, the school survey, the teacher survey and the student surveys, meant that we had data and information across three groups to look at it, see where there were similarities or differences, why that might be, and then how we were going to respond. It was challenging to do all three in terms of making the time for it, but we tried to build it into current meeting times. So the teachers did it at a meeting, we talked about it at the meeting. So we didn't make it as an additional add-on.
So on the website it has the 5-step inquiry cycle. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you that we didn't follow that. We just went in and went, okay, we're going to give the survey and then we're going to put some actions in place and then we go. But if you go back to that 5-step the 5-step planning cycle, it will have some ideas in there for school leaders and what you can do to support your school and your teachers to make changes to their practice and to your local curriculum, what you're doing here at your school. That is where we're going to next.
This is a robust tool. It's standardised, it's well researched, it's well designed, it's fit for purpose. We continue to look at it to make sure that it remains fit for purpose, and we continue to work on it to make sure that it keeps up with our understanding of what these social phenomena are.
This tool will give you the whole coverage of give you a broad picture of your whole school so that you can test your assumptions against, help measure all your strategic goals. I would say the reports are really interesting because when you get the aspect and it shows you where your Year 6s fit against the national norms, but you don't actually know, you look at the data and you go, is that good or is that bad?
So not only does the survey look at what the problems are, but it looks at how well the school is doing on the things that will solve the problems, the protective factors that will work against things like bullying. So it's very focused on directing the schools to the place they need to be heading rather than what they need to be moving away from.
The approach initially was that we needed to capture data in the early days. I needed to find out exactly what was happening for our students. Back in 2015 or 16, I think we did our first survey. And then, so what's happened is we used that as a benchmark and we used the reports probably not as well as we should have done. We just went through and highlighted things that stood out for us that we would make changes to. And then, so what's happened is over a period of time, we've done it every year since. And as well as referring back to the previous year, we've been able to look at the data over a period of time and see if there's been any fundamental shifts in what's happening here at Friendly School.
Rather than just, let's do a survey, let's just gather some information, see what it tells us. We were quite planned and specific about what we wanted to find out. And in that example of the students, a cohort of students who were year 5 going to year 6, we could see that the aggressive culture was having an impact for them. We really wanted to think, how did we respond to that? So knowing what we were looking, or what our inquiry was about, meant that we could be quite specific about looking at the data.
But schools have an amazing opportunity to help New Zealand with the challenge it has in addressing a really serious social problem in bullying. And they can do that through using, firstly, the tools such as Wellbeing at School, and secondly, drawing on the resources that are available to help them on the journey towards making their school safer, more caring, more welcoming for young people.
I think having a tool that pulls in people's feelings is really, really important, because in a school you work with people, so you're working, everything you do is based on emotion, on people's feelings and how they perceive things to be happening at school. So to have a tool that measures how people are thinking about, feeling about the place is really important.